Hey, everybody, I'm back with another pep talk for you. And today I want to talk about a change of scene. And I know that that might seem kind of difficult right now because we're still in a pandemic, but that's part of why I want to talk about it. One of the things that can really, really spark your creative energy is to go look at something different. I know I've talked about paying attention and how there are probably more ideas around you than you realize because if you're in your house all the time, you stop seeing things, right? Everything becomes ordinary and you don't notice it anymore. The opposite of that is getting out, going somewhere new, changing your scene. Even if it's just a trip to a local park for the afternoon, it can be enough to generate new ideas in your brain just because you're taking in new visual information. And the same can be true for what you hear. If you've ever gone to a mall or an airport or a coffee shop and just sat and listened to other people chatter, that can be a great way of inspiring yourself because comments that you hear out of context land on you very differently than they land when they're in context. It could be the most simple, innocent thing that anybody's ever said, but for some reason it hits your brain differently because you're not actually part of the conversation. It's a great way to just go and even find your own prompts. You could listen for some random comment and decide that you want to turn it into a play or a photo or a painting or a poem or whatever. It's a fantastic tool. But the visual element is important too, and even the sense element. If you go somewhere and it's the first time that you've worn shorts and a t-shirt for the year, you're gonna feel things differently than when you go out in jeans and a sweatshirt. The difference may not be as obvious, but it's still there. Or try a new food. Anything that gets into places in your brain that have been sleeping for a while. And a lot of us have brains that have been sleeping a lot in the last year because we've felt so restricted and we haven't really felt like we can go anywhere and do anything. Obviously, if you want to go and, and you're vaccinated and it's safe and you can hop on a plane and fly halfway around the world, that'll be even better because then you've got new languages and new money and all sorts of new things to contend with, but it doesn't have to be that big. It can be driving around town with Google Maps on and letting yourself get lost because you know that Google will bring you home and seeing what you find. It can be that trip to the park. It can be, anything that's different. If you live near a college or university and you haven't walked around on their campus for a while, if you haven't been to your favorite coffee shop in the last year because for whatever reason, they didn't have takeout or something like that, go. Even if you just get takeout, even if you just sit outside and watch the people go by, watching people can be so fabulously inspiring. I think everybody should do it. But just get out of what you're used to. Get out and see other things. If you can go see something like a museum exhibit, even better. But again, it does not have to be something like that. It could be a concert. It could be, a barbershop quartet singing on a street corner. It does not have to be anything elaborate. All you want to do is expose your brain to new stuff and then see what comes out of it. It's like that Orson Scott Card quote about how many ideas are out there and how most people don't see any. It's time to just go fill that well. Fill up all the ideas in your head. You may not even use them right away. It could be that something you see tomorrow comes back to you 3 years from now and turns into a great short story. You never know. But if you don't make the effort to go out and change your scene and take in new stuff, it'll never happen. So this is kind of, building on that whole pay attention thing, but it's not even just paying attention because you need to expose yourself to new things and try new things. Take a cooking class. If you've never done Indian cooking and you take a cooking class, I guarantee you a whole bunch of new things are going to open up for you that you didn't even know existed before. That's what it's all about. Go out and just experience different things. Experience is where it all comes from. If you haven't got anything in here to fuel it, you're not going to get new ideas. So give it a whirl, see what happens. As always, I love to hear your stories. And if you have any questions that you want me to answer in a pep talk, let me know. And if you think that you need some extra help and you wanna work with me, I'm here. So feel free to contact me. All the info is in the show notes. Nancy at fycuriosity.com will get to me pretty easily. And I love to hear from you. And I love to see the things that you're doing and hear about your experiences. So go do something different, have fun, see what happens. Catch you next time.